Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing rational numbers. Again, this is something you've done in the past, a little bit in 6th grade and then also in 7th grade, so it should not be new to you. So let's investigate these with the calculator. I have 4 times 2, 3 times 12, 6 times 7, 16 divided by 4, 32 divided by 2, 27 divided by 9. Now let's look at the next ones. Negative 7 times negative 3, negative 11 times negative 5, negative 6 times negative 13, negative 12 times negative 3, negative 42, negative 12 divided by negative 3, I should say, negative 42 divided by negative 2, and negative 81 divided by negative 9. I'm starting to wonder if I actually said times over instead of divide. So what do we notice? We notice that when the signs agree, or if they're both positive or both negative, for both multiplication and division, the signs are the same, then your answer is going to be positive. But what about when the signs are different, like positive 2 and a negative 3, negative 8, positive 4, positive 5, negative 2, negative 16, positive 8, positive 56, negative 7, and negative 21, and a positive 3. Well, you see, all of these answers are negative. When your signs are opposite, so a positive and a negative or a negative and a positive, your answer will be negative. So when signs disagree, the answer is negative. Let's practice. I have 2 to the 4th power times negative 1 to the 3rd power times 2. Jumped ahead. What does that mean? Well, this means positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2. And if I multiply those all out, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. I'm going to multiply that by, I have negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. And I have my times 2. I don't want to lose any part of my expression. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 1 is a negative 1. So this whole thing here equals negative 1. So I have 16, positive 16, times a negative 1 times a positive 2. Let's multiply left to right. Positive times a negative is negative, and 16 times 1 is 16, times a positive 2. A negative times a positive is a negative. 16 times 2 is 32. Let's look at our next example. This time I have negative 3 to the 3rd power. That's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. And I'm multiplying that by negative 1. Then I also have negative 2 to the 2nd power, so negative 2 and negative 2. We're going to do all those exponents first. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Positive 9 times negative 3 is a negative 27. I'm going to multiply that by my negative 1. Let's do that other exponent too. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. So I took care of both my exponents. Now I'm just going left to right. Negative times a negative is a positive. 27 times 1 is 27. 27 times, I don't know what is right, and I think I'm going to put plus. So I'm just going to make it into this type of times 4, because I've taken care of this. That's negative 27 times negative 1. Okay, 27 times 4, well, 27 times 2 is 54. So double that is 108. Use your math tricks if you know them. And it's positive, because a positive times a positive is a positive. Now I have a couple negative fractions. Remember, with fractions, simplify before you multiply any numerator to any denominator. I cannot simplify 7 and 10. I cannot simplify 5 and 8. I can't simplify 7 and 8, but I can simplify 5 and 10 by dividing them both. Oops. I went ahead. Forgot I didn't have my pen on. Divide them both by 5. This will become a 1. This will become a 2. Now that I've simplified, I can multiply straight across. Negative 7 times negative 5 is going to be a positive 7. I could also just think a negative times negative is going to give you a positive. 2 times 8 is 16. 7/16. Now I have 2 to the second power. 2/5 to the second power. This is going to be 2/5 times 2/5. And I need to then add 1/5 at the end. I just spelled that all out so that we remembered what 2/5 to the second power means. Well, I'd simplify before I multiplied if I could here, but 2/5, I can't simplify. 2 and 5, 2 and 5 can't simplify, so I'll multiply straight across. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. Now I'm going to add 1/5. But before I can add, I need those common denominators. What do you think I should use? Well, the easiest one to use is 25. So to get 5 to 25, I'm multiplying by 5. If I multiply the denominator by 5, got to multiply that numerator by 5. And now I can add. 4 plus 5 is 9. And my denominator stays the same, 9/25. Oh, now I have 3 times 1/3 to the third power. Keep in mind, it's only the 1/3 that's being raised to the third power. So 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, 3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. You don't multiply first. Remember, exponents happen before multiplication. And I'm going to subtract 1. So let's take care of this exponent. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Bring everything else down. Okay, so now I have to multiply. I can rewrite that as 3 over 1. I should rewrite it so that they're at the same level, but you see what I mean. Simplify before you multiply. I can simplify this 3 with this 27. Now I can multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 9 is 9 minus 1. I'm going to rewrite my 1 as 1 over 1 since I know it needs to be a fraction anyway. So, common denominators to add or subtract. I'm going to rewrite this with the denominator of 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 9 is 9. Now let's look at this. I have a positive 1/9 and negative 9/9. 9 is larger than 1, so my negative wins by 8/9. Go back to that problem I just did. Okay, I thought I didn't see that 3 there. I want to make sure I did right. Now let's stack division. Remember, when you divide fractions, you get the same answer as if you multiply by the reciprocal. Remember reciprocal? That is just our flipping our second fraction. So if you remember from 6th grade and 7th grade, keep the first number, switch, divide to times, and flip that second number. So show you my cute little nene here. Nene divided by nene is the same as keep my original ne, switch, divide to time, and flip her upside down. Let's do a quick practice. 3/4, keep. Divide, I switch to times. I'm going to try to use a dot. And flip my second one. You can keep the negative sign out in front. You can put it with either numerator and denominator. In front's usually the best bet. Keep, switch, flip. Simplify before you multiply. 3 and 4, nope. 2 and 5, nope. 3 and 5, can't simplify that either. How about 2 and 4? Yep, I can divide those both by 2. Now just multiply straight across. A positive times a negative will give me a negative. 3 times 1, 3. 2 times 5, 10. Negative 3/10. Okay, what is the value of x over y when x is -6 and y is 3? Oh, sorry, no, y is 2/3. I can't read today. So this just means x divided by y, remember. And we probably want to rewrite that because we don't like to throw fractions inside fractions. So I'm going to rewrite this as -6 divided by 2/3. Remember, -6 is the same as -6 over 1. We probably want that when we move to our keep, switch, flip. So I'm going to keep my -6, or my -6 over 1. Switch my divide to times, and then get that reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3 over 2. Keep, switch, flip. Simplify before you multiply. Can't simplify that, can't simplify that, but I can simplify my 6 and my 2 by dividing both by 2. This becomes a -3. This becomes a 1. Remember, you do not simplify until it's a multiplication problem. I can't simplify here. It's not until I flip the second one. Now I have a negative times a positive. That will give me a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Now, normally I tell you it's okay to keep an improper fraction, but this one, 9 over 1, is just -9. It's an integer, so I would change that one. Okay, let's evaluate this expression. A is -1/2, B is 3/4, and C is -6. So first thing I'm going to do is substitute. A, I'm going to substitute for -1/2. Now it says divided by b. B is a fraction. I don't want to write a fraction like down here in this denominator because I would think that looks funny. So we're going to write that out as -1/2 divided by 3/4. Could I write it this way? Yeah, I don't like it though. And then lastly, minus c. c is -6. Let me make a quick change here. Notice I have that minus and negative. We're going to change that to a big old plus. Now keep -1/2. Switch, divide to times. Flip 3/4 to 4/3. And now I have that big old plus. I'm going to add +6. Simplify before you multiply. Can I simplify 1/2? No. 4/3? No. 1 and 3? No. 4 and 2? Yeah, I can divide this both by 2. This would become a 2. No, it wouldn't. This would become a 1. I was thinking ahead. This would become a 2. Okay, now I can multiply. A negative times a positive is going to give me a negative. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Now I'm adding 6. Writing the 6 up here because I know I need to make that into a fraction. What's my common denominator going to be? Well, I just go with 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Now I'm comparing 18 and a -2. My 18 has a larger absolute value, so 18 minus 2 is 16. And 3 on bottom. And you can keep that improper. I'm okay with that. Or you can make it into a mixed number. How many times 3 go into 16? That's 5 with 1 left over. 5 and 1/3. I didn't clear my screen. I should do that. Okay, now I have 0.25 to the second power. Oh, I do not like 0.25 to the second power. Is there anything I could do differently? Well, I could write out my 0.25 times 0.25 and multiply it. I could know that 25 squared is 625, so it would be 0.625. I could do that. But I also know 0.25 is 1/4. And I like that better, especially since I have this fraction here. So I have 1/4 to the second power divided by 3/4. When I have numbers that are in different formats, like fractions and decimals, I usually like them to be in the same one. So I'll either change my fractions to decimals or my decimals to fractions. Okay, 1/4 to second power. That's 1/4 times 1/4. And then divided by 3/4. Well, I can't simplify anything. So 1 times 1 is 1. And 4 times 4 is 16. And I also told you wrong what 0.25 to the second power was. I misplaced my decimal point. That's why I don't trust it if I don't write it out. Divided by 3/4. Now we're going to keep, switch, flip, or keep, switch, reciprocal. Reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Simplify before you multiply. I can simplify this 4 with this 3, with the 16, sorry, divide by 4, divide by 4. I was looking at that 3. Multiply straight across. I didn't change my pen color back. 1 times 1, 1. 4 times 3, 12. 1/12. all positive. So, just a quick summary. Simplify before you multiply. Keep switch flip. I don't know why these are all number one. That's kind of silly. Simplify before you multiply. So if you're multiplying, you simplify before you multiply. If you're dividing, you keep switch flip. And then you simplify before you multiply. That's it. Have a great day.